and he kept like failing. He failed kindergarten. I don't even know how that's just possible, but he did. But anyways, even though he kind of wasn't the smartest guy in the room, girls just like really liked him, and he was super charming, and yeah, it's just like everybody really liked him. Hey guys, it's Ellie. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about another serial killer, Shawn Grate. Now this story is scary because I feel like we've all dated somebody like him, and this wasn't that long ago. This was like 2019. So I think it's going to be really good for us to hear about these stories, and it's like educational. So if you guys are here for the first time, my name is Ellie Arket. I'm the founder of Arket Cosmetics. On this channel, I like to sit down, do my makeup, and do a true crime case at the same time. If you guys like content like that, I highly suggest to give this video a like and subscribe because it's fun and I enjoy doing these videos. And 90% of the products that I use here, they're my own. I have vegan, organic, cruelty-free makeup and skincare. As you guys can see, I'm sitting in front of you with no makeup on. So everything's gonna be listed in the description box down below. This story is scary as fuck because I personally have had experience with being with a violent man who happened to be attractive. I think a lot of times people assume like, oh, if you're like attractive or something like that, like they're not going to be violent or kill you or whatever. It's same thing happened with a lot of people that, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer came in contact with. Same thing happened with Ted Bundy. The story is about a guy named Shawn Michael Grate. He's a Leo. He is just all sorts of crazy. He was born August 8th, 1976, and his parents apparently had a very tumultuous relationship, with his mom. He would just like fight with her all the time, and apparently he was also like really bad in school to the point where he failed kindergarten. So at school, like, girls really liked him. He was very charming, even though he was kind of like a dumb fuck, and he kept like failing. He failed kindergarten. I don't even know how that's just possible, but he did. But anyways, even though he kind of wasn't the smartest guy in the room, girls just like really liked him, and he was super charming, and yeah, it's just like everybody really liked him. When Shawn was only 6 years old, his parents got a divorce. A lot of the issues that he had later on has to do with his relationship with his mom. At age 11, his mom disappears. His mom basically decides to go and live with some guy and leaves him. Like, he goes to school and he comes back and his mom is not there. Even though he had a really tumultuous kind of like a relationship with his mom, this really fucked him up. This is where the abandonment and all sorts of issues started happening. Now, to me, he's like a classic narcissist. Now, there's different categories of narcissism. I feel like he just has like, you know, he wanted attention. He's a Leo. He wanted attention. He probably should have become an actor. Instead, he became a serial killer. So he went and lived with his dad. Now, he went to this high school, River Valley High School. And this is where he kind of fell in love with baseball, and he started doing really well, to the point where he wanted to kind of do that for a living. Now, unfortunately, which is so very sad for him, the x-ray, it showed like he had like a tumor, and they had to take like bone and stuff like that from like his hip to put it in his arm, which basically didn't allow him to play anymore. This made him fall into depression because this is the only thing that he excelled in. He sucked in everything else. The thing about him that he was like super lazy. He didn't want to do anything. He fell into this depression, and he started apparently doing drugs and alcohol because he was depressed. And that was the only way he was coping with the fact that the only thing that he had found himself being good at, which was baseball, he wasn't able to do. So it's like, what is he going to do with his life? He's experiencing depression. He's experiencing neglect. He's having mommy issues. He started doing stupid stuff. Like, he would go into people's homes and steal and stuff, and he got caught. And the thing about him, that because he was like charming and he was attractive, like he started like getting away with things. Like, people were just like giving him a chance, and I totally understand that, because I was with somebody for a long time. Unfortunately, it got dragged down for a long time, which I never had intention of, and I was really wrong about the fact that I thought this person was like my twin flame. But anyways, he just like reminds me of this person so much. Like, just angry, violent, mommy issues, daddy issues, drugs, just all sorts of fucking shit. Fast forward to, he goes from, you know, burglary and going into people's homes and stealing their money and belongings into now starting to attack people and killing them. And he started doing this thing where he would just like, you know, pick up like a girl and strangle them and kill them. Now, this is where the story is scary, because we've all had also that calm guy friend, right? I've had that calm guy friend where you feel safe with them, right? You're just like, oh my God, we're just platonically friends, and he's like a really nice guy, and he's super calm, and he's charming, and he's attentive. So he meets this girl, which the name is being referred to as Jane Doe because she was assaulted by him. The police didn't want to release her name. She goes by Jane Doe. He meets this girl at like a local Salvation Army, and they become friends. They start hanging out, playing tennis. They read the Bible together. They talk about the Bible. So yeah, just because someone talks about the Bible, I would highly suggest you making sure that they're not crazy as fuck. That's like a sign in itself. Anyway, so they're platonic friends. Now, she said after the ordeal that she was not interested in him, even though he was like a good looking guy. And like I said, it was very charming or whatever. She was not interested, and they would just like play tennis. They would read the Bible together. They would go on long walks and just like have like a really nice, normal friendship. He wanted to engage in sexual activities with her, but she declined, and she only saw him as like an older brother and just wouldn't give him, you know, like her phone number and stuff like that. Now, one day he convinced her to come back to where he was staying. Apparently what Shawn was doing was he would go around, find like houses that were like half in construction, like half done, half undone, or maybe the owner didn't have the money to finish the construction and it was like on hold. He would find houses like that, and then he would live in it. He would bring like a mattress and blankets and some stuff, and he would just like live in it. So one day after their long walk, he convinces her to come to where he was staying. So they go in, and she is in his room. That should have been a red flag already, where he's staying somewhere that's obviously like under construction, but I guess she was polite enough not to ask, like she didn't want to pry. So she's in his room reading the Bible. This lady is in the room reading the Bible. He was like all nice and attentive and stuff to her, but then he goes to the kitchen, and after he comes back, he says something to her like, so I just want to tell you that you can't leave, and you're never going to leave again, and you're going to stay here, and you're going to marry me. Ties her up in this really, really weird, bizarre ways, where if she wanted to escape, she would have strangled herself to death. Where he learned this shit, I don't know, because like I said, he wasn't exactly the brightest kid in the block. He tied her and he assaulted her for days. One day, he fell asleep on the mattress next to her, and there was a cell phone somewhere on the ground. She happened to luckily untie herself and call 911. Now she's whispering to the 911 dispatcher like, I've been abducted. You know, she's telling the 911 dispatcher like, hi, I've been kidnapped and please send someone. And then she's like, can you get away? And she's like, no. She's like, yeah, I did untie myself, but I don't want to wake him up. He's sleeping next to me. If I try to, you know, walk away, I'm gonna wake him up, and he's really strong, and I can't get away. You know, please send the police. So she's like, stay on the phone with me. She's on the phone. All of a sudden, she's like, oh shit. I think like I woke him up. So there's like a couple of minutes of like silence or whatever. And she gets back on the phone, and she's like, yeah, like I kind of woke him up, but he went back to sleep. Please send someone like right now. So she's like, okay, you know, stay, and you know, I'm sending the police to you. So the police show up, and obviously they go upstairs, they arrest him, and like I said, the police didn't want to disclose her name, so she went by Jane Doe. Take Shawn to the police station, and they just like calmly start talking to him like, what's going on, like what happened here? And he's like, you know, she just like really pissed me off because I wanted her to marry me, and she said she would, but then she said no, and I just got angry, and I just decided to tie her up to my bed. And they're like, okay, but then, you know, did you assault her? And he's like, yeah. And his voice is so weird. Like if you listen to the tapes, and I can't put it here because YouTube is gonna like demonetize the video. His voice is just like all, like he sounds so dumb. Like I can't even deal with it. And of course my eyelashes are vegan. All my products are vegan, organic, cruelty free. My eyelashes are handmade from silk, so they're vegan, because the regular eyelashes always give me like allergic reactions, so I got vegan eyelashes. Police starts asking him like, hey, do you know about such and such, like, you know, she's missing? And then he goes, yeah, I think they're missing. And they're like, how do you know? And he's like, well, I heard. So the police start like really calmly, like super calmly, just asking him like, hey, do you have anything to do with these other women that are missing? He starts confessing and he's saying, yeah, I think it was like Stacy was her name. I'm gonna go through the list and tell you guys all the names and stuff like that. And then he's like, yeah, she's in the closet in the house. And then they're like, is there any other girls that are, you know, that you have in the house? So basically he killed a bunch of girls and just threw their bodies in the house or in the closet and put clothes on them. Obviously the police goes back to the house and they find bodies of these other women that all of them he strangled to death. Now one of them, he was saying that she had come over to where he was staying and was saying to him like how she wanted to unalive herself. He was just joking with her and he wanted to scare her. So he grabbed her by the neck and he put his arm like under her neck and started like, you know, strangling her, and she was fighting him. And then he was like, well, are you sure you want to die? Are you sure you want to die? But then he ended up like strangling her and killing her. It's like, what the fuck? Stacey Stanley, aka Stacey Hicks. Stanley family had reported her missing the week before Shawn was arrested. Her body was found at the Ashland house, this house that he was staying at, where Shawn was arrested, and she was also known as Stacey Hicks. An autopsy concluded that she was strangled to death. All of the girls were strangled to death. Now the Jane Doe girl testified and said that he had assaulted her in every shape possible, like in like every that was available, he did it. Okay, just imagine that shit. So the other woman that he had killed, and these are the names: Elizabeth Griffith. Elizabeth Griffith had been missing for about a month before Shawn was arrested. Her body was found at the yellow Ashland house where Shawn was arrested, same house. Apparently he was killing these women and like just throwing their bodies in the basement, in the closet, and throwing clothes on top of them. Just throwing clothes, okay? And it's like, it's good enough. I don't know, it's just like insane. Like, I don't know. He didn't seem to be insane, but his behavior was insane. The other girl was Candace Cunningham. Shawn led police to where he had claimed Ham's body was in this neighborhood in Richland County. On the day of his arrest, police found the body behind a house that was previously burned down. Thing, autopsy, strangulation. Another girl was Rebecca Lisi. Based on information supplied by Shawn, police opened the investigation of the death of Rebecca. Her body was found on March 2015. Her death was originally, ruled as drug abuse, but then they found out that basically he strangled her to death because she took $40 from his wallet. Yeah, apparently he said, she just like really pissed me off. The other girl is Dana Lowry. Shawn claims to have killed another woman who was found dead in Marion County, Ohio in 2006 and had remained identified for 13 years. Like, he got away with it. She was only 23 years old, and at the time she died, she had 2 daughters, age 1 and age 5. Nice guy, this Shawn guy. Now Shawn Grate is a convicted American serial killer. He murdered 5 women from 2006 to September 2016. 2006 to 2016, got away with it until he got caught. Shawn was convicted in 2 counts of aggravated murder May 17th, 2018 in Ashland County. He pleaded guilty to 2 additional murders on March 1st, 2019. This shit is not that long ago, you guys. This is really scary. The story yesterday, we were just like, what? Like, that's okay. It's like 150 years ago. I'm gonna do Blessed Be. This is my top selling lipstick. All my Velour liquid lipstick, you guys have to make sure you, when you get them, to shake it really, really well. Now I'm going to put this on and I'll tell you guys the rest of the story. I don't use lip liner, I just use the wand to line my lips. Now it goes on kind of like liquidy and then it's gonna dry down. Pleaded guilty to 2 additional murders on March 1st, 2019 in Richland County. And he pleaded guilty to an additional murder on September 11th, 2019 in Marion County. So Shawn Grate is sentenced to death and is scheduled to be executed in 2025. So that's a good ending for us. Anybody that decides to strangle and kidnap and rape a woman, at the end of the day, you're going to be caught. This is, you know, the era of DNA and forensic evidence and all sorts of shit. Now, an interesting thing about this case is there's a clinical psychologist who reviewed his file and basically said that based on his upbringing, the way he had the mommy issues, the narcissism, the anger, the violence, all the issues that he's had, the depression, that there was no way of helping him and that nothing was going to be able to like fix his condition. And because of that, it was ruled and it was decided when he went to trial for him to be executed. That's when you know you're so batshit crazy that no one can help you, when a psychologist or a psychiatrist says there is no hope for this individual and they need to be executed, because he wasn't insane. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like he was insane. He was sane. He knew what he was doing. He was very conscious of it and very aware of what he was doing. Because he was really, really miserable, he wanted to make sure other people were going to be miserable, you know, because he wasn't able to play baseball, or because his mom abandoned him, or whatever, they didn't have a good relationship, whatever his shit was. He just wanted to, he wanted other people to suffer. He was really suffering internally, and he made everyone else around him suffer because he was suffering, which is a very interesting trait for Leos. Kind of reminds me of Meghan Markle. Like, Meghan Markle is a Leo and she's suffering because, I don't know, she doesn't want to be black or something, right? And so everybody has to suffer around her because she's suffering somehow, and she has like issues and stuff like that. And I think she's a narcissist and a mental case. And Prince Harry needs to just like get away from her before she does something to him, if something like that ever happens, and then we can talk about it on this channel. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Like I said, all my products can be purchased on my website at EYELASHES.com. My skincare, my makeup, blah, 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 my hair serum, EYELASHES.com. Please give this video a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys for another true crime and makeup for another day. Bye, guys.